Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a comedy movie review and I'll be having a look at About a Boy. Now this is the original movie, which I think came out in 2002 starring Hugh Grant. Now the reason why I want to review this one was that I recently watched the series, the American kind of remake series of this. And I'd watched this movie when it pretty much first came out. Now I will say this, when I first watched this one, I think I watched it with a girlfriend at the time and I was kind of like, chick flick. And although it does kind of have some of these chick flick tropes, it's kind of from a guy's perspective, and that's kind of why I like the series as well. But it does follow the kind of the standard chick flick template, and let me explain to you what I mean by that. So, if you look at 90% of chick flicks, you've pretty much got a kind of ill-matched couple. So there's going to be two people, and for whatever reason, they're not going to seem, well suited together. So in this one, for example, even though it's not romantic, you've got, Hugh Grant who's playing this any never had any responsibility bachelor, and you've got Nicholas Hoult playing this Marcus, who's this kind of geeky kid who doesn't really have any friends, and they're this kind of the odd couple basically. Now in a kind of normal chick flick, basically they kind of, despite some kind of misgivings initially, they kind of meet up and hit it off, which they do in this film. And they've normally got some kind of strange personality traits and things like that, again, which they do in this film. And, they get on great, they build up the relationship, all going well, and about 2/3 of the movie in, or 2/3 to 3/4 of the film in, they're going to have some kind of spat and kind of falling out. And again, this happens in this movie. And then right at the end, they're going to kind of get it together and kind of make up, and their relationship's going to be even stronger. And that again is in this movie, and that is pretty much the kind of the template, which is near enough every type of chick flick. And the way I've said this to people who like chick flicks, and they reply to me going, "No, but action films or superhero films are the same, whatever." Anyway, so that is kind of one of the issues I have with this film. Is it kind of just follows that sort of same template, even though it is kind of from a guy's perspective. And there are some amusing moments where, for example, Hugh Grant's sort of having dinner with a woman, and it's all going swimmingly, as the woman thinks, but you've kind of got this monologue going on about what he's actually thinking. And it's quite good from a guy's perspective. You think, yeah, actually, do you know what? That's kind of what I would be thinking as well, and things like that. So it's quite funny. And I forget how funny Hugh Grant kind of used to be. He's got this kind of stigma, really. But he's actually quite a funny guy and sort of delivers a good performance in this movie, and I actually quite liked it. Now I remember when I first saw this film, as I was saying, I didn't really want to see it first of all, but when I actually saw it, I did kind of enjoy it. And I couldn't really remember much about it, but when the series came out, I thought, yeah, I'll check it out, because I vaguely remember kind of liking the movie. And then I watched the series and really enjoyed it. That's what's made me go back and watch the original film again. Now, if you compare the two, now I haven't read the book by Nick Hornby, first off, but the actual pilot episode of the series is a very condensed version of what actually happens in this movie, and I'm guessing the novel as well. Now, they kind of skipped over a lot of the bit. They're kind of one of the main factors in the film, which isn't in the TV series, is that Marcus's mum actually tries to commit suicide in the movie. And that's not in the TV series. There she's just kind of this kind of crazy, wacky hippie, which she is in this film, but she also tries to commit suicide, which I guess gives it kind of this darker feeling as well. And that's kind of, I guess, one of the major differences. I would say Marcus's character is a little bit different in this movie as well. He's a little bit more likable in the TV series, I have to say. And it's not the acting, because I think Nicholas Hoult does a decent enough job here. It's just the way the character's written. I think he's meant to be a little bit more adorable in the kind of the series than necessarily he is in the movie. I actually have to say, I think I slightly prefer the TV series compared to the film. I guess because obviously maybe it's because it's obviously a lot shorter. The jokes are a lot more condensed, and I did enjoy this film. And I think Hugh Grant is a funny guy and does a good performance. And I did like the fact that you don't have this kind of romance between Hugh Grant's character and Marcus's mum. They just end up being sort of platonic friends. And there is a romance involved with Rachel Weisz, but she rarely gets any sort of screen time. I enjoyed the film. It's kind of I guess almost like a guy-friendly chick flick, even though it does actually follow the kind of the same tropes as a normal chick flick. I don't think it's quite as funny as it could have been. Maybe it's because it's dated a little bit. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think? Leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you next time.